This episode is sponsored by Dewey's Corner Pub. Visit Dewey's Corner Pub for great drink specials, delicious food, and awesome music and entertainment. Dewey's Corner Pub is located at 812 North Piedra Street in El Paso, Texas. This episode is also sponsored by the El Paso Wing Factory. The El Paso Wing Factory is a family-friendly restaurant located in the Five Points area specializing in wings, craft beer, and great times. Visit the El Paso Wing Factory at 801 North Piedra Street, Suite 2. Please follow Dewey's Corner Pub and the El Paso Wing Factory on Instagram and Facebook for updates and additional info.
Sweet Jesus Radio.
Yo, yo, yo! Welcome to Sweet Jesus Radio. I'm your host, Sweet Jesus. Got my co-host, Candace, in the house.
Sweet Candace.
Speak directly into the mic. Let's see. Give me a couple checks because I thought I did the sound check.
No, now that I'm talking, I think you need to.
Did it sound low?
Yeah.
Say it. Give me another check.
I don't know what to say.
Not that. Again.
How about now?
It's a little better.
A little bit. Oh yeah.
You're speaking a little low though.
Just a little sad.
Sorry, listeners. Very special guest. We got two guests, but more like a special guest co-host. My brother from another mother, Tito, in the house.
Yeah. What's going on?
But the guest of honor today, an or an alumni, so to speak, been on an episode before. Pretty much one of the most highly talked about episodes. People's favorite episode is the Rico episode, the homie Rico Velez. Yeah, man. So I was mad excited to do this episode. For the listeners, they've heard you on previous episode 99, right on the cusp of reaching 100, and we pretty much gave your life story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All up.
It was everything, man.
I wasn't good enough for the 100th episode. So you guys got me for the preview. It's cool.
It was the teaser to. No, dude. Honestly, I don't like to. I'm like, I look at the episodes like my kids. I love them all the same. I like to say that, but no, I have favorites. And you can pin episodes on SoundCloud, and here's is the one I keep that one pinned on top in case like somebody that's never heard of it, they stumble upon Sweet Jesus Radio. They can listen to someone first. Like, listen to episode 99 first. that's the
hook. That's the hook.
Favesies.
Yeah, check that one out. Don't listen to 88 because that's where I made that weird joke. But listeners, we're gonna get into all kinds of shit. We want to catch up. For those that don't know, Rico, again, he's just a businessman, owns multiple businesses. In my opinion, he's. I look up to him. I wish he would mentor me. Owner of Dewey's El Paso Wing Factory, about to open another business. We're going to talk about that. So we're going to catch up on all of that. But I highly recommend checking out that episode too, if you have time. But let's get into it, man. So I wanted to start off with just the current status or the state of your current bars and restaurants. Dewey's, because of Corona. I want to let you loose, man, because I know you got strong opinions about shit.
Let me get a drink.
I don't even have like prepared questions because I read your posts on Facebook and they're well written. It's not just political, left, right, liberal, conservative. It's actual, well thought out, middle of the road.
You gotta stick to the facts.
Facts.
That's what
reality.
It comes down to.
Not picking any teams. No tribalism. Just facts.
That's it.
So if you can kind of talk about how that affected you, because that's one of the main reasons I wanted to bring you on today, man.
Well, I've never been a very political person, and I've liked to focus on facts. So when this pandemic hit, we were following it when the cases started making news headlines, and we're like, all right, it's not going to affect El Paso. Like, all right, it's not going to be major. And then the cases started, the media started hyping up a little bit. And you're like, oh, all right. And I like to watch all media. I like to watch Fox News, CNN, MSNBC.
Yeah.
And everybody had a different approach towards sensationalism on it. I was like, is this going to be serious? Like, is this something? And then the downplaying a little bit, you're like, okay, it's not going to affect El Paso too much. And then from one day to the next, boom. On St. Patrick's Day,
Yeah.
the busiest day of the year for the bar industry, they shut us down.
Yeah, I
And
remember
then
that.
they
shit.
they made it such a broad. They painted that with a broad brush. So we were supposed to shut down on the 18th. So technically, bars could stay open until midnight.
Yeah.
But some of us, we took it pretty serious, so we closed early. And other bars stayed open later. I regret
Shouts
closing
to those
early.
bars.
Yeah, like props, man. You guys did it right. 'Cause we were able to afford rent for one more month. Well, we did it. We shut down early, trying to be good people. And we missed out.
Yeah.
There was people still out there. And that was 90 days. That first closure was 90 days. And I was very irate because the closure didn't have a lot of insight. We just knew that, there was a serious pandemic out there or virus. There wasn't a lot of information about it, so we were learning as we go. But to be closed for 90 days,
That's, yeah.
and that rent still got to get paid
With no plan.
with no plan. There was
Yeah.
nothing for bars particularly. And then I had the El Paso Wing Factory that was ready to open up.
You were about to open that up right when all
We
this
were
stuff happened.
ready to open, and boom. So how do you open up in a pandemic? Well, you just gotta take those lemons and make lemonade. So
Like a lemon shandy.
You gotta wing it.
yeah, we had to wing it. But all right, I see why you're a co-host now. I see what okay, all right, I'm getting this. All right.
High five.
Good call. All right, good job.
Candace, everybody.
All right, Candace.
Be here all night, guys.
So we set up the drive-through for to-go only, and for Dewey's for the first month we stayed completely closed, but then we realized that we were still they updated the mandate so you could sell food to go with alcohol.
Do you remember what date around that was?
That was
it after
about-
the 90 days?
No, it was after the
time's just
first
flying.
30. Yeah, it was just going fast.
After the 30, okay.
After the first 30, Abbott updated the mandate, allowed us to sell food to go and booze to go. I was on the
Yeah.
fence on that one. I'm not a big fan of the food to go just because of liabilities, and people have been without bars for 30 days. Imagine what's gonna happen, when you go through a drive-through just to get one sandwich and 30 shots.
That's true. There is liability.
Can I get some fries and almost a keg?
That's pretty much what was going on.
Fries and a pony cake, please.
Yeah, you get a case of beer and ice.
There's people selling like jugs of
Oh, it was nuts.
mixed. I don't know. But there's like adios motherfuckers in a
Yeah.
gallon.
Yeah.
I'm all for it, but I mean,
Yeah.
from an owner's perspective, it's you never know.
You're not gonna knock down the next man's hustle. You just gotta
Yeah, I love
sit
it all. I
back
love
and
it.
watch. But we weren't on that level. After 30 days, we decided to reopen under those mandates and did food to go. So we had a really good menu at Dewey's. Very good menu actually.
I've
The
eaten
sandwiches
there
were on
before.
point. So we got a lot of support, like amazing amount of support from people that they honestly didn't even have to order from us. They could have got cheaper sandwiches at Subway. They could have got catering for their office parties, but tons of friends stepped up. First responders that were, have medical
I made it a
offices.
point to go eat there a couple times for
See
sure.
what I'm saying?
'Cause
Yeah, it was really nice, man. It was really cool
you
to
show
see
love
that love.
too. You know what I'm saying? You've always shown us love. So like,
And I appreciate
why would I?
that.
Why would I go to Subway when I can go to my homie shit?
That's
you know?
right. That's right. We'll
Yeah.
take it.
I feel like if anything, that's one of the upsides of the pandemic is that it kind of made people more appreciative and then also want to give back to small businesses or local because it was kind of more like, oh shit, we're going through it. Can you imagine these small businesses who depend on us?
Absolutely.
It's their livelihood.
Yeah.
And El Paso's a different beast. Like this city, it comes together at the right times.
Yeah.
And though outside influences could play a role in trying to change our state of mind, you cannot change the culture. And that Chancla rules, So that is
That's the
something
name of
that
the
I've learned.
episode.
Yeah.
Chancla rules.
Oh man, like I've learned that that has been part of the heritage in the city that has molded some of the people that are making the important decisions now. They're not very sensitive. They're not easily influenced. And that upbringing of getting hit, and yeah, we're not condoning, that violence and stuff, but we're just saying, like, look, you
That's
step
what
on the
it
line.
was, though.
Yeah, you're a 6-year-old, you're throwing a tantrum, you get that chancla, you're done. Like, problem solved, it's over. And some people never got the chancla, and those are the people right now making these decisions, and it's sad.
That's
Some
true.
people never got
That's
the
a- that's a-
chancla.
There's some people that
And
making
it shows.
decisions.
That's
an interesting perspective. And
That's
it
a new
shows.
T-shirt, guys. Go to put that one on the next
That's
El
true.
Paso.
That's a good one.
Ask me about my chancla.
But then you gotta carry a chancla for reals. Because if somebody
You
asks
lift
you,
and
you
there's a
better.
real chancla under your shirt.
We need to sell chanclas, period.
You sell chanclas to your dog with sharp edges and shit.
Yeah.
Listeners, we're referring to, Rico's shirt. He has a shirt that says, ask me about my ninja disguise. He flips it around and there's a ninja mask in there. You have to see it. We'll have to take a picture. But yeah, man. So just in general, so you're about to open the Paso Wing Factory, doing a lot of this.
Right.
Can you kind of go into detail, like what was going through your mind? Because there were several bars that were about to open right around the time that this shit happened.
It was tough. I finally found a good group of backers that would see my vision, and I convinced them, hey man, like let's back me up on this whole Paso Wing Factory concept. And to open up as it was very risky to open up in a market that's dominated by Wingstop. And then you got Wing Daddies, which is amazing success story as well.
Yeah.
Wing Shack.
Even me as just a buddy of yours, I was wondering, it's like, I wonder if he'll make it. Then Corona happens, but just there's a lot of wing places already.
Exactly. And
like,
the locally owned, you got to give them their
all
success
day.
stories. They're doing great. And I just wanted something that when we expand, you could be a wing all day, but to expand the El Paso brand, which we are a city that I think stands out from the rest, and I don't say that just because I've been here for over 20 years. I just believe in it. It's just a different passion out there. The city embraces, and I just want to do something to honor it. So instead of doing the basic wing, we did craft wings on the menu. So we did the peanut butter and jelly wings, with street taco wings.
See, when you say it like that, now I have to try them.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it is a production, and I had these visions of these flavors. And it's almost like how a musician would describe a sound in his head, where he's like, this is what I hear, but I just can't. My fingers can't put it onto the keyboard yet, or
So you're calling yourself a genius?
Not yet. I'll be a genius when we expand, and somebody
To
says,
me,
"Hey,
you're a genius. Fuck that.
here's $5 million."
This guy's one of my heroes.
Walk away.
That's true. But no, you've done a lot, man.
So we were able to put these flavors together and open up. We did takeout only, and then by day 90, they lifted it up, and we opened up for dine-in at 50%. But we had a huge patio in the back. We have a huge patio in the back, and that helped us out a lot.
That's a nice patio, yeah.
That helped us out a lot. So people were just showing up, and they were showing up during the closure just for to-go.
Yeah.
But once we were able to have dine-in, we were abiding by the mandates.
I was just waiting for the
masks.
dine-in, and as soon as that happened, boom, I was there, man.
It was great. It's been great. The support's been great. I just,
Can you give us some of the, as much as you can say, I don't know if any of this is top secret, but the just the behind the scenes, dealing with the changes in the laws and the ordinances and whatever the fuck you want to call them, mandates, like dealing with the inconsistency of it. What do you have to do? Do you have to call somebody, or do you have to check? You have to get a license. I don't know how any of that works. Talk to me like I'm a first grader on that shit, because I literally don't.
So if we're talking about the first round, the first round of closures, they open us back. They open us up, and then they close us down 3 weeks in.
Yeah.
So anybody in the bar industry or in the business understands you don't pay your bills, in the first month. You got to get that full month in, and then that last week you really don't pay anything. You try not to order anything. You try to just write your inventory out, because you have a feel for exactly what you're doing in profit. And if you have longevity in the business, then you already know exactly where your numbers should be at. But we were banking on that last week. We're like, okay, man, we really need this last week to break even, and they shut us.
Damn.
So there's no profit. Once again, you're stuck, and the loans weren't coming in. They released these.
Yeah, I saw you posting about loans.
Yeah, I was heated over.
That's
those
why I want to know
loans.
the details about it, because I don't know. It was Greek to me.
So the feds agreed on getting these billions in for the relief funds and the CARES Act, and that was supposed to go to small businesses.
Okay.
Well, for me, in my opinion, this was handled wrong. So the money, by all means, yes, let's approve those funds, but to give it to the local banks to distribute. Listen, this is a small city. It's a beautiful city. The movers and shakers move with mover and shakers, and I could guarantee you that the minute the idea of those funds being released to the bank was released, the banks already knew, and they're already calling their top accounts.
Oh yeah,
and
you're
their
right.
top accounts are the people that are already
Cronyism type shit.
They're the ones that already don't need the money. And I'm gonna take that back. You always need the money. If you're in business and you're doing very well,
if you have a business,
you still need it
then
because
it's about money.
yeah, that's what we're in business for. We're in the business to one, give back to the community, of course, but you can only do that if you're profitable. And
But in a sense, it was kind of like a blanket way of doing things as opposed to case by case, as it should be.
They did it case by case, but the insight is it's almost like insider trading. You already know you're going to get, your bank's going to get approved for, let's say, $10 million, and you could issue out $10 million in loans. Well, and that's a low number.
That's hard to regulate that shit, though, too.
It was insane. So no one really knows this, but this is all public knowledge. There were entities that were getting $5 million loans, $2 million loans, $1 million loans.
They didn't need it, quote unquote, as much as
they didn't need it. Like you think about it, they're closed, but their services don't really require them to stay closed. They were still allowed to operate, but they still got these funds.
Yeah.
And you're wondering, like, what about us? So the small business guys, the ones doing under $1 million a year in sales, and with 10, 15 employees, we were left just hanging there waiting for the scraps. So the money ran out in the first round, and then you see the headlines of Ruth Chris got $5 million.
Yeah, that must be
extremely
frustrating.
Like, Ruth Chris, like I just spent $190 on a steak, like, and you're gonna take $5 million? Like, that's not even right.
Yeah.
And that was just one of many entities that you're seeing that the money grab was over, and all they had to do was make a phone call. And when we made a phone call, it was submit this, submit that. That's a 30-minute day, a 30-minute wait, or a 30-day wait, and turn around, and then the money runs out.
Red tape shit.
And you're like, what the hell just happened? And you dig in, and you find out that I don't golf with bankers. I don't invite my bankers out to lunch. I'm not even in bed with the bank. We're self-made.
Yeah.
And I need to learn to get to that level to establish those relationships. So if you're listening, bankers, don't hold it against me.
I still want that money.
I still want to grow out here.
I'm not talking about you.
I'm just angry.
Well, your shit's, it's the banks, but it's also just the government, the way it was handled.
It was handled wrong. There wasn't a lot of research done. You just can't put dirt in a hole and expect something to grow out of it. You got to seed it, care for it, soil it, fertilize it, process it, and they just put that money out there, and the money disappeared very fast. And there's still entities out there that when they released that list locally, that it made my head spin. I'm like, wow, that business got $5 million, and
that's insane.
What?
That's why I wanted to talk to you about this, because I didn't even know that. Like, it's mind blowing.
It was very mind blowing, and there's
fuck?
no shame. Now that enough time has passed, and no one's really interested in what exactly did our government, what exactly did our council members, our mayor, what did our leadership, our elected officials do with those fundings? And my biggest question that I always bring up every now and then, sarcastically, but it is a concern, is we're looking at $118 million, and I think it was actually 118 million grant, maybe 82 million was for COVID tracing alone. How do you spend
What does that mean?
82 million?
COVID tracing?
You just said it, yeah. COVID tracing. What does that mean? And what does that entail?
PSK. So yeah, it's like really vague, intentionally.
It was very
probably
vague, and at the end of the day, for me, the simple solution is everybody has a smartphone. Create an app. You got to log into that app, and that tells you where you've been at, and follow.
I mean, this is a topic that we can go on forever.
Oh, this is endless.
Right?
This is endless. But at the end of the day, we're not in those positions to make those decisions. So it's different when you're heavy as the crown. When you're holding that crown, it's a little bit.
That's
different.
why, in their defense, quote unquote, it's hard to regulate all that shit. But at the same time, I don't trust these motherfuckers. But that's kind of the pros and cons to capitalism, so to speak. Because I'm a fucking red-blooded fucking American capitalist. I'm a red-blooded capitalist. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Just because I hang out with a bunch of fucking, most of my friends are, probably leftists to some degree. I'm not right or left, but if I had to pick one, I'll go with capitalism all day. But that's kind of the negative side of it is, the cronyism, the lobbying, the fucking quid pro quo type shit.
Right.
But you accept it and you adapt and you keep it moving.
Right.
So that's what I like about Rico. He's speaking on it. He's giving an opinion on it, but he ain't necessarily bitching. Like, he's gonna I'm gonna give my opinion, but I'm also gonna adapt and move on and figure out a way navigate.
You have to.
Yeah, but a lot of people are fucking crybabies out there.
Yeah,
I hate a crybaby.
This is a game of
chess.
chess.
I hate a motherfucking crybaby.
It's a game of chess, not checkers, and you gotta.
And that's the lesson I hope that people get. Is like, don't be a fucking crybaby. Like, adapt to the shit.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Venting is fine, but vent accordingly and to the right people. Because if not, you're looking exactly the way you
catch yourself and
described
then keep it moving. Like, don't stay venting forever, dwelling on that shit. You know what I mean? Which a lot of people do that shit.
Too much.
It's like boxing, man. You get knocked down. What are you gonna do? You got to get back up. You just got hit.
It could be down there. Oh, if it wasn't for the ref, nobody would be counting to 10.
I slipped, and the gloves were heavy. Like, nah, man, you got knocked out. A lot of people
have that approach to life. So, how do you feel about one of the things was I was talking about this today. I was, one of my friends, a few of my friends are very just pro gung-ho with the locking shit down. And I'm trying to tell them there's more to, for one, I mean, I can go on and on about it, but dude, it's not just, you're fine, you're working or you're getting your little check, but some businesses are, forced to shut down.
Right.
That's their livelihood. Some people are getting checks and whatnot, but that money's running out.
Right.
I have friends, I bumped into Chris Chavez, photographer, the other day at Albertsons. His shit's, I hope he doesn't mind me saying his name, but his money is running out, like that shit that he got from the government. My point is, there's psychological aspects to it.
Absolutely.
If you're like trying to feed your kids, your family, there's depression, like how the fuck, depression, anxiety, that leads to drinking, that leads to crime, that leads to just wilding out. A lot of us are just struggling to keep a cap on the bottle on a daily basis. Right. Me included, because I'm a psychopath. Like I'm struggling. I'm just like, I'm surprised I haven't robbed a liquor store for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
This is pre-Rona. Can you imagine now?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people like that.
Absolutely.
And it leads to all these psychological, basically the negative aspect of it, just anxiety, depression. You can't just shut motherfuckers down with no plan. That wasn't one of the main points of your posts.
Right.
You have to have a plan. Like, okay, once the numbers get down to this, then we can let this.
We were left in
blind.
the dark. We were left in the dark, and a lot of these briefings that we were seeing on TV were just kind of off the hip, and no one really knew exactly what this virus entailed or how detailed it was or the after effects. And it's still an ongoing battle with people saying, well, it affects people with underlying issues, so they should stay at home. And then you have the other people saying, yeah, but the kids shouldn't go back to school. And everybody has an opinion. At the end of the day, we're all entitled to an opinion. Yeah. But we have these elected officials that are trying to make these decisions that's going to embetter us, and they have their beliefs. Yeah. And that's why the parties are divided. At the end of the day, it comes down to what's best for everybody. And we vote for a reason. Yeah. And we choose our elected officials for a reason. And whether we like it or not, they're the ones making those decisions. Yeah. So the only way to make that change is voting. Voting. And get in detail. Don't vote.
And being the change in your immediate circle.
Exactly.
Just with your own influence that you have there. And to, influence the vote in that way as well.
Right.
Or revolting too.
Oh, you could do that too and see how well that worked in Portland.
Not to that level, but I feel like, there's ways to do it.
There are organized ways, and there's ways to do it
just
totally wrong.
Rebel.
Yeah.
And it gets the attention, if you do it the right way, get the attention of elected officials.
Right.
Because I'll tell you right, I mean, you guys follow the rules at your establishments, but I've been to places.
Yeah, it's tough.
And I don't blame them, though. I'm all for it. Mm-hmm. Rebel, I'm all for it.
Make your coins, boo.
Do that shit. They're like, I'm all for it. And even the police, like, I don't think they even care. Like, they're just doing their job.
Everybody's got a job to do.
But they're like, why would I care? But this is a bar. Like, we want people to have fun. Because if you don't let people do their thing, like, they're going to do crazy shit. Like,
worse.
The first month and a half, dude, I was losing my mind. Like, I don't have kids or a wife. Like, I'm just there. I work from home.
Dude, can you imagine
walk
if
2
you
steps,
did?
work.
I think that's a show in itself, dog. Like, how do you not have kids and a wife? That's something to talk about.
And the way you're looking at me, look about this guy. Tito, dude, it's me, Tito, Rick. Who else? D doesn't have it. April.
There's a few.
Well, we're older than them. Me and you and Rick though.
Take no Candace. That's
Single,
the next
no
topic
kids.
for another show for these
I
guys.
already fucked up. I got
Dude,
two
I don't know what
kids in.
Tito's excuse is, but I don't know. Do we want to get into this topic? I've had a couple close calls.
I've been fucked out the game for a minute, so don't even ask me.
I'm just saying in general, I mean, miscarriages happen. That's a common thing. But after you get to a certain age, I'm 44 years old. I just don't think my boys swim anymore. And I'm cool, and I'm okay with that.
Wasn't in the cards for you, Jesus.
I'm okay with that. I'll get a plant. You know what I mean? I got a nice cactus. You don't have to water it too much.
How do you kill a cactus?
So, hey, Rico brought it up.
Hey, I'm just saying.
How many kids do you have? Just the one?
I have one amazing daughter, yeah.
I say, so you don't have that many. For Boricua, that's a disappointment. You're supposed to have 10.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right.
That's a one.
Yeah, it should have been on a rampage, but I was raised, to take it easy and raise one correctly.
Dude, I have not taken it easy. I don't know how I don't have 20 kids. I have not taken it easy.
You always say that, and I
My
always.
pullout game is horrible.
I don't know if
I've
that's
never
a-
worn a condom in my life.
One day Jesus is gonna call us and be like, "Bro, I have like 3 kids that I just found out about."
I got letters coming in.
Too late. Statute of limitations.
Changes his
Take it to the
name.
park, throw some passes. That's about it. Nah, I'm just kidding. Nah, okay. Well, so since we got I purposely wanted to have this here at Il Paso. Listeners, we're actually at Il Paso, 3351 George Dieter. Fuck the suite number. You can see the damn sign.
It's a dope spot too.
It's dope as
T-shirts,
fuck.
retro toys, hats,
This is my
throwbacks.
brother's shop. I'm a part owner of the clothing line. He's the owner of the shop. So I always give him his props. But that leads into what I'm saying. How did all this shit affect you? Because we've never even had this discussion. It might be a little less complex as multi-bar
Restaurant,
owner type shit, but I'm sure you have some sort of stories, or just give us your take on it.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously when everything shut down, everybody was just completely out the business. I mean, everybody was scared to be out the house.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what the hell was happening. You know what I mean? But I mean, kind of like what we talked about, just evolving, changing and adapting to what's going on around us. You know what I mean? So traffic obviously stopped. People weren't coming out of the home. So business-wise, retail, nobody's buying. In a pandemic, you're not going to
Nobody
spend
cares
money
about a
on
damn
T-shirts.
t-shirt.
You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want. You're going to buy new
Shouts
gear
to those that buy
to go
purchase.
where? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you going to go? The clubs are closed. The bars are closed. You can get some fresh gear, but who's going to see it? Like, you're going to be at
flexing
home.
in your living room.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's true.
that we saw the change coming where sales on shirts was just like minimal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything just minimized. But we started seeing, okay, well, they're starting to make people wear masks. You know what I'm saying? So, well, we got machines and just graphic design stuff that we can adapt to that and say, well,
Adapt.
let's make masks.
You made lemonade.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
a
You know what I
michelada
mean?
and shit.
And ultimately, that's what it is in business. I mean, you got to just stay ahead of the game, like play with the rules.
Yeah.
But when they weren't allowing people to be out, I still have my regular day job, working with Joe.
Yeah, you good.
And so I was good on that end, and I was considered an essential worker. You know what I'm saying? So my day job still kept going, but because of the fear of everything going on, we started saying, like Joe was like, hey, if you could work from home or do something, do it so we don't have so many people at the office. So I worked from my shop, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, here's my office now because nobody's going to come knocking on these doors. But in the meantime, what I did was work from here doing my day job. But then I was like, you know what? I'm paying rent here still. What am I going to do to generate money because I don't
justify
wanna
the expense and shit.
Yeah, so I mean, I got electricity going, I got this and that, so I'm like, well, I got to adapt because right now nobody's coming through these doors. We're not going to let anybody in anyways, but I work from here, you know what I'm saying?
You were scared too, motherfucker.
I was like,
I've never been. I'm like,
yeah, and
I
so
want to see my friends.
yeah, and I mean, so the adaptation started happening. Well, let's see what can we do because then businesses started doing the curbside stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then when we realized, well, it's not that crazy. Where, at first my idea was
Just bring
there's
them all,
going to be
whatever's in
police patrolling the streets. Like if you're out, and
It
you
was
don't
like
have-
that.
Yeah.
And well, in this side, like where I was, my routes, I didn't see that, but I had a letter
Sunset Heights.
saying I was an essential worker working with the bank and mortgage. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you had the letter.
So I had a letter that justified me being out. So that's why I was like, you know what? I'll come here and work at the shop. If they come and knock on my door or catch me, I'm covered because I'm actually working
Right.
from my shop. But I said, well, okay, now that things kind of
Your
calm
pupils
down.
are dilated. No,
And,
man.
and the rules kind of started
Like
changing
what?
and people started having an idea of how to handle it. So I brought one of my employees here and we're like, we have and then also there was something that was on the ordinance that said if you had pre-existing orders
Right.
and stuff that you can still conduct business, you know what I mean? So I brought one of my guys into the shop. Hey, let's start getting these orders that we had because I mean we stopped everything. I mean after the 17th midnight, everybody was scared. Like my employees were like, "Yo, can we leave early? Because I want to get home. I don't want to get pulled
Right.
over, have the cops mess with me, this and that." So,
I got weed in my car. I got this
Yeah.
blunt, got this roach shit.
I got my midnight
So-
smoke.
That's what they really say.
yeah. So we adapted to that, and then after a couple weeks, we started saying, "Well, we're sitting here in the shop. We can let's change our focus on what we're gonna do." And then we started knocking out these orders, and then it started being where some of the local businesses. We started doing, masks and stuff like that, shirts and stuff. We had a lot of people from
A lot of masks.
but believe it or not, masks from hospitals.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? Nurses. And I'm like, there's a shortage on it. Like,
Which
this
is
crazy.
weird.
This is crazy. Like, I got
That's super weird.
One nurse found out that we could do masks, and like people couldn't get masks anywhere. So everybody was like, "Yo, you guys got masks," and it was like crack. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh shit! We got the Ricky Ross of masks over here, dog.
everybody like
The real Ricky
kid you not, we started getting
Freeway Tito.
Damn. You put some baking soda on that mask.
You don't know what
A
I'm
little
sniffing underneath that mask. No,
Hey, but isn't that weird? The hospitals have the same resources. You ordering your shit off the internet,
yeah, and
or
that's-
whatever you're getting it from.
I just think that people were freaking out and they're not being resourceful. You know what I mean? So in us like kind of adapting. Well, we do clothing. We have
Hospitals
access-
probably have contracts with certain suppliers too. So like if they run out, they don't
certain
have
amount,
the
right?
liberty to stray from that. Maybe I don't know. I'm
Right.
guessing. I don't know.
True. Yeah, and so that's kind of where we
Come
started,
get this El Paso mask.
Yeah, we were like, you know what? We'll do whatever we need to do. I could keep ordering them. So I mean, the demand was crazy, dude. So that was kind of our
Several
little,
months later, El Paso's still here.
Yeah, but hold on. Let's think about this one, right? Not to knock down the brand, like it's a dope name, but would you want a nurse taking care of you that says El Paso on her
No,
mask?
we was talking about this. We were talking about because he wanted to have like a slogan at some point about ale, but like having like a fundraiser charity theme about helping. So like, no, it's almost reinforcing it like ale.
Yeah,
We have to be real careful with that one, Tito.
yeah. It was kind of a I guess
It's oxymoronic type shit.
Yeah, ironic too. You know what I mean? Super ironic because here they are, they're coming to us and we're ill. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
no.
like,
The only reason I say that because when I got that first shirt from you, I went to Walgreens one time. I'm in line
Oh, word.
and I'm standing there rocking the El Paso shirt, and this older lady in front of me, and I say older because I'm old and she's older. And right when she pays, she turns around, she says, "If you hate this city so much, you should just leave."
Because it says ale?
Yeah, and I'm like, "Excuse
Dude,
me,
I've had a similar experience.
excuse me," and she walks away, and I'm looking at the cashier like, "What just happened?" She's
No, I
like,
had a similar experience. Not that bad. That's worse. But somebody was like, "What do you mean by ill? Like, is something wrong with El Paso?" Or like, I go, "No, I have to explain something. It's just
"Yeah, I'm glad
Slang.
I'm glad I didn't have to explain it to her because I was like, no,
Right.
Illmatic, Nas," and she was like, "What?
can't go back to this old lady."
I drive an
You ever heard
automatic."
halftime?
yeah, I've had that experience
Live at the barbecue?
on a plane, man, flying back to El Paso. I had a guy that was an older gentleman in his 70s, kind of cowboy rancher type, and he was just like, "Explain to me, what does that mean?" And he was like really
That's weird.
like questioning
well,
me.
sir.
And I said, "Well, nowadays I had to explain to him like,
See, Nasir,
Nasir Benoludorad Jones,
Not-
son of a jazz player, trumpet player.
not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good. You know what I'm saying? So
Have you heard the word dope? Same shit.
like I was like, it's like sick, like it's a word that we
It's
use,
like sick.
You know what
It's
I mean?
like- it's exactly sick.
like yeah. I was like, yeah. I was trying to explain to him, but he didn't get it. He thought it was disrespectful.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was
Just
just
jump
like,
'em.
well, hey, I was like, cool. You know what I mean? Like you're set in your ways, but you don't understand. And then the wife jumped in and said, this new generation, this and that, and tried to explain it.
Oh my God! Every fucking there's colloquialisms everywhere. Everybody has their slang. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
They were just saying it. They know. Was it a country guy you said?
Yeah.
They know it's some black shit. So they're being. There's a
Ignorant.
part of my brain that thinks they're being racist.
Yeah, could be.
Like, oh, they're ill.
Yeah, and that was the funny thing because, like I said, with this whole pandemic, it was kind of like, okay, well, now people are looking at us now in a different light too. You know what I mean? Like, what does it mean? Everybody's ill now. You know what I mean? So we're representing the ill.
We need to change. We need to rebrand this shit.
Everybody's ill now.
But I always
Well-matic. It's well-matic.
yeah, there you go.
politically correct.
Well-matic. Cured-matic.
and
Cured.
Vaccine-matic. Something.
it's like Lil Wayne said, I'm ill, not sick. You know what I
Well
mean?
Paso.
And
It's well Paso.
There's a difference.
It rhymes with El.
Cured.
Well Paso. Write that shit down. This is as a joke. We should make a Well Paso shirt
These are
with the same
minutes.
font.
Yeah,
No, I'm really gonna do it.
Yeah.
The assistant,
Take notes,
write that one down,
take
please.
Yeah, so I mean that was the biggest ironic moment for us in this whole thing was that it kind of started off because there was a need for that, you know, and a lot of nurses that were dealing with this front line didn't have access to masks. And so I was like, well, you know what, we can get them all day, you know. Yeah. And then not only that, you know, even Pooh Hef, he was one of the ones that jumped on in the beginning, and he was getting masks, and he had told me, he was like, yo, like, because, you know, he's been dealing with some health issues over the years, and kind of like, hey, premeditating, like, hey, look, this is about to hit, man. We need to get it. So he was kind of one of the ones that jumped off in the beginning and got some masks for us. Our first run of masks was with him, you know, and the trade-off we did, like, for his Gecko Bros radio.
Right.
And so I was like, cool, man. And then when we had them, everybody was asking, so I was like, well, we need to get them faster, you know what I'm saying? So we started getting them, and that's kind of where we're at.
I mean, you did a service to this. Anybody making masks, of course, we're trying to make money and all that, but you did a service to the city because people needed masks.
Yes.
Well, you know,
so that's,
here's the thing, because one thing that crossed my mind, and this was kind of the thing that I thought was kind of weird, like, I guess just a speaking point. You know, I think there was a lot of controversy when we had the shooting here, you know what I'm saying? And people were making shirts, and people were doing El Paso Strong shirts, right? And there was a lot of criticism on those shirts. Like, people were making money
people
off
making
of this.
a buck off of it.
Yeah, and, you know, there was a lot of people that were speaking on it, you know what I mean? And, you know, we did a run of shirts and stuff, whatever. But I think it changed when it came to masks. Nobody was talking about, you guys are making money off masks. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that shows you the less logical brain. The logical mind doesn't give a fuck if somebody's making a buck.
Yeah.
But when you're running off of emotion, so it's more like, oh, the mask is helping. So that can shift and change, and which is weird, but
and the thing is,
I'm Dr. Spock in this motherfucker.
The honest truth of it too, because we've never really said and focused on pushing the mask out there.
Right.
If you know, you know. And we've sold a lot of masks, but it's not even out there on Front Street. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's like, well,
you want to know about making a buck? We've made more dollars off this mask, off these El Paso structures.
You know, because people are gonna have their opinion, and they're gonna think that you're making a buck off of a pandemic, or you're making a buck off of a shooting and a crisis. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, look, you know what? Like, we're just gonna do our part and adapt. It's just like when we were short on respirators as a nation. What did the automobile industry do?
Right.
They adapted.
Yeah.
They stopped making
hand sanitizer,
and
PPE.
yes. What's it called? Not breweries, but alcohol.
Distilleries are
started making
hand sanitizer.
and were people mad that they were doing that? No, because this is in our lane. If there's something that we can do that, one, like t-shirt wise, going back
people
to
that are built on emotion, you have to. It's all about marketing. So it's about twisting it in a way where it's acceptable and palatable to them.
When you have the bigger facility, then you're stepping up. You're assisting a nation.
Yeah.
When you have the smaller facility, like
you're making a buck.
You're not making it.
That's how they perceive it.
It's perceived as making a buck, but in reality, you're making lemonade.
That's what I'm saying. So
you're out there making lemonade.
I'll be wrong on it. To the weaker mind, you have to twist it in a different way.
Right.
Yeah, because you know what? Like, I never saw like the El Paso Strong shirts and merchandise as making a buck, because it was like, you know, people were upset that they weren't donating to the cause, right? You know what I'm saying? I think that was one of the biggest beef that people had. But it's like, you know what? At the same time, I think that people emotionally were looking for some kind of representation of the city, because I think, you know, shirts were sold out left and right from anybody producing them. You couldn't find an El Paso Strong shirt, but the nation, everybody wanted them from coast to coast, because people that were from here that moved wanted to represent the city that they were from or had some affiliation. They wanted to be, you know, proud, a pride of what we are, because like you said, the
people making the shirts are giving them an opportunity to represent.
Yeah, and
it's one of those topics that can go left and right and on forever, and it's just sad. Like, just worry about your immediate family. Like, who cares what anybody else is doing?
I think it's just sad when people always try and make something negative out of something that isn't necessarily trying to be negative. Like, people are always going to try and like break something down.
That's how you know America's the best country in the world, because you have run out of problems. Like, this is what you're worried about? Somebody making shirts?
Yeah, and
you have no problems. Like, you have a blessed life if that's what you're bitching about.
Hashtag blessed.
The way I
people
saw
trying to get their next meal.
Is like if we were in the business for years, like say Smith & Wesson making guns, right?
I'm proud
and all of a sudden,
America,
10 years later, this happens, and then now everybody's trying to buy guns to protect themselves.
Right.
And we just so happen to be in the right business at the right time, and now everybody's buying guns. You can't fault us for making what we already have been making and providing something to the people.
People are dumb. It's like the Nation of Islam saying 85%. That's the 85%ers, man.
Yeah.
The 5% of the poor righteous teachers.
Straight up, yeah.
I'm gonna move on. I want to move on to because Rico promised me, even though he's been teasing it, he's got a new business.
Yes.
He's opening a new business.
Yes.
And first question before I go into that is, I just want to ask: are the rumors true?
I'm straight.
No, do you wear boxers or briefs? No, no.
Commando, dog.
Because I keep hearing you're trying to take over the world. That's what I hear. Another business. This guy.
I think they
thriving in this pandemic.
More power to him.
That's why this is my hero, dude.
More power, bro.
He doesn't know this because I don't want to suck his dick too much. But I'm saying behind his back, am I not always Rico? I want him to be my mentor.
Without you there, he is constantly sucking your dick.
Figuratively speaking, but yeah.
I get that sensation sometimes out of nowhere.
I mean,
I know where it's coming from. Thank you, man. Thank you.
It's spiritual shit.
I'm gonna erase the visual, but I'm right there, man.
That tingly feeling. It's Jesus. It's Jesus.
Jesus.
I knew Jesus was giving me that tingly feeling down there. So can we talk about the new business?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the El Paso Wing Factory, I'm very excited about it. With the El Paso, well, one, I am central as fuck. I love Central. Central is El Paso as it is the city that I made my home 20 years ago officially.
Yeah.
And
I like that you always prop it up.
I love it. Like this city, the diversity, the opportunity. This city is amazing. A lot of people don't see it, but I've lived it, and I have zero complaints. And this city has been amazing. With the El Paso Wing Factory, that was in honor of El Paso. We opened up the El Paso Wing Factory as a brand that we want to
purposely
expand.
put the name El Paso in the damn
Absolutely,
shit.
we wanted not just because you have a lot of Star Mountain or city lights and stuff like that, but we needed to put the name in the brand, and we needed to have a wing with craft flavors that differentiated us from the rest. And it is expandable. We have current people interested in allowing us to expand and financing us to expand, but we're going at our own pace there. In any business, you want something that it covers the broad spectrum of what you offer when it comes to food and beverage. You could do a bar, and you could be happy with that bar, and a lot of people have been successful with the bar, whether it's a big bar or a small bar.
Yeah.
And you could have a restaurant, and you could have a little restaurant that sits 20 people or a restaurant that sits 100, and it just bases on the product that you offer. So when we opened up the El Paso Wing Factory, and we're going into our 4th month, and it's been very good. I
love it there.
The city has done great, and we get the support from our fans and friends and people that never tried our wings before, and they come back, and that's a good feeling. So in Central, heading back to why I'm Central as fuck, there's plenty of opportunity in Central, and I love Central. I love my area.
Do we already have shirts that say Central as fuck?
You guys don't, but I did get one made. Shout out to Jennifer. She made me a Central.
I want to wear one.
Absolutely.
I stayed in Central for a good amount of time in my early 20s.
Jennifer, you're listening. Jesus needs a Central as fuck shirt.
It took forever to get my El Paso Wing Factory shirt. Oh! Whose fault is that? Side story.
It was there for you.
I asked homegirl.
Yeah, they were a little lost that day.
Continue, my bad.
So the success of the El Paso Wing Factory, I'm sitting back one day, and I was looking at Central, and I noticed a building very close to Dewey's that wasn't open. Even after the restrictions were lifted, they were a restaurant, but they weren't operating. They didn't open back up. So I reached out to my partner and said, hey man, let's find out how we could secure this building. He did his part, and before you know, we locked in the lease. So what used to be Fat Bear in Central on the corner.
Used to be Rincon de Villa. And shit.
Yeah, used to be Rincon de Villa. Then Orale, and then Fat Bear, and now it's going to be called, name reveal, drum roll please, Fowl Mouths.
Really?
Oh, I like it.
Hell yeah.
FOWL Mouths.
Because of chicken or what?
Yeah, we're going to do
Hell yeah.
pollo al carbón, clamatos, and cervezas.
Holy
nice.
shit.
Nice.
This guy's got the ideas. I'm telling you.
Tomatos is my shit.
It's kind of what was missing to bring that area together. You know, we have a lot of great businesses in that neighborhood. We have, Poor Judgment, which is a really cool bar. Yeah, this amazing little spot called Dewey's Corner Pub.
Hell yeah.
I've heard about it. I've heard
My
of it.
favorite spot.
Sounds familiar.
And you have Vinny Joe Bronson, which is some great food.
Was it you that commented on my shit a while back when things started coming up? Did I not say when I was living there in the alley, the Ninja Hideout?
Uh-huh.
I was like, this is an untapped area.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
I posted
Oh, yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
And then I
5 points, the whole 5 points.
Yeah, and then like there was the memories brought it back because people started opening
Yeah,
businesses, Dewey's and whatever else. So like, I've been trying to tell you. I just need 10% from all the businesses. Is what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell you, motherfuckers right here.
The
Like, this
landlords
is
are lovely.
untapped. It's untapped.
It is untapped. Tons of potential.
Now it's tapped, but
Yeah.
And then the homies like doing it right.
Yeah,
Rico's doing it right.
You have Coconuts, you have 1/8 with some great pizza, you have
Yeah,
Headquarters
1/8
with some
good.
great draft beers, and even good coffee. They have great burritos, great tacos, but they close early.
Yeah,
But what's-
but it's a dope spot.
Exactly.
You even got Crimson Veil tattoo. You get your tattoos done
Right,
over here.
right.
Yeah.
And those guys are awesome. They're our neighbors right there at the Wing Factory.
Did
And
Salt and Honey move?
Salt and Honey's still there.
Salt and
Man,
Honey.
Maggie at Salt and Honey does a great job with Salt and Honey.
Yeah, I love
it's
her.
a beautiful
Oh,
spot.
yeah.
It's almost
I don't
like
even know her, brother.
Salt and Honey's like what G2 was back in the Cincinnati days when it first
Okay.
opened,
Yeah.
And we decided that what was missing was that pollo al carbon, that flavor,
Man. It's about to get real, dude.
I got Peruvian recipes. I got Central American recipes. Like I got so many recipes that
Holy
I
shit.
want to put into this chicken, and just get that smell out there and that flavor and that badass patio, and it's going to be really nice. It's a really cool
yeah.
concept.
That's fucking
And
dope.
hopefully we should be open in about 60 days if things go right, 90 days at worst. But
Are you gonna allow parking from other? patrons?
I will allow parking from other
That was how
patrons.
if you're parking Fat Bear, they're gonna tow you.
Oh yeah, Fat Bear just wasn't being nice to us. They wouldn't allow us
Yeah.
to park there.
Fat Bear don't care.
But no, we're gonna be really nice.
But
about
shouts to Fat
parking.
Bear. They got some good shit too.
No, their food is good. I can't
And
knock
they
the
serve
hustle.
beer. Yeah. No, dude, the Essentials shit's popping off. I'm glad to be associated with the homie. But there's several. But this is what I like about Rico. He'll still promote other businesses. He's not. That's one thing about. There's positive things about El Paso. Like he's always highlighting. But there's also the crabs in a bucket mentality.
Yeah.
Which we don't focus on that. Oh, that's a dope
There's enough
logo.
out there for everybody. There's enough out there for everybody. And why are we gonna badmouth people?
But
Hell yeah.
but that's how he's like. He'll promote other businesses. You know what I'm
But
saying?
that's
Absolutely.
also why you've probably been so successful, because you don't have that like negativity and you
Exactly.
don't like project it or.
Yeah, you have to surround yourself with good vibes, good people.
Yeah.
And this is a very competitive industry. Let's put it that way. And then, there's no secret that monthly the controller's office releases the numbers of sales of
Yeah.
what bars pay in taxes, and if you reverse that, you can figure out what their sales were.
Yeah.
And when you open up a business, you want to be successful and prosperous, and you want to compete sometimes in some way, whether it's friendly or not, with something similar to your concept.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're all in this together, and we all got shut down at the same time, and we all live under the same mandates. So no one's better than the next person, because you take away all that, you're left with the core of the human that you are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if you're an asshole, you're going to be an asshole by yourself, whether with other
That's
assholes.
my point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a bunch of assholes in a room get along. I never have.
Like bad mouthing another business doesn't do anything for yours.
It does
Yeah.
nothing for you. It's not going to increase your penis size. It's not going to get your ego bigger. It's going to do nothing
If
for
you're
you.
doing things right by your own business,
Absolutely.
you're
You
secure.
don't even have time to worry about.
Yeah.
what
There's no
anybody
time to
else
worry
is-
about
yeah.
it. I've been a type, and you guys know that. Like, if I see a business struggling, I offer my 2 cents in a very friendly and passionate way. Sometimes they take the advice, sometimes they don't. But at the end of the day, no one should be struggling when you're surrounded by people that want to help.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Fowl Mouths. I can't wait.
Fowl
Do we have
Mouths.
a release date? Do we have a?
Yeah, I'm like
we're-
super excited.
We're shooting for November 1st.
Oh, shit, that's right around the corner.
We meet the engineers tomorrow, actually, and our contractor, and we should be ready to break ground.
Who designed your logo?
That was Xavier Vasquez, my boy. I give him these ideas, and he lives in California, so
Oh,
between
okay.
1 and 4 in the morning is when the creative juices flow. And then I've been telling him from day one.
Adderall is a hell of a drug.
X, when you hear this, I still owe you. I've been like, hey, send me an invoice. He's like, just send me a dick pic. I was like, all right.
Holy shit.
All right, cool, bro. Let me fluff up.
It doesn't have to be yours. Just pick a random one off the internet.
Just Googles.
I'll send him mine. You want 4 inches of this shit?
Shout out to X, man. He's done a great job.
Hey,
with that
Candace,
logos.
I don't know if she remembers, but she supposedly had some questions for you.
All right, Candace, let's hear it.
So
This is how we're going to end it.
I think we kind of already
Shady for
answered it, but like we kind of did, but not really.
Just what? Don't get nervous.
I don't know how to like say it. I have it in my head. I don't know
Spit it
how
out.
to
Well,
Just
you're
say
call
it.
us on a podcast,
articulate
so you
it.
should know how to say it.
Yeah,
Let
just
me
say
try
it.
let me try and articulate it properly.
No need to articulate. Just go.
How do you keep? I mean, we already kind of talked about it. You just kind of have to keep going with it. But like, how do you keep your creativeness with all the changes?
Also known as creativity.
Whatever. All the changes, like you obviously have to stay on top of like your rules and whatever you have to follow. But then you also have like your own vision for how things are going to be. So like, how do you mush all of that together?
You
to
mesh it all
still-
together with a great team. I've been blessed to have people
That's some Dale
work with
Carnegie
me.
shit.
And man, I'm telling you, I've been blessed with people that have worked with me, and by this point in time, they kind of already see my vision.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
So
you're
when
all on the same page.
We're all on the same page, and it's not all. It doesn't always flow correctly, but it takes them a while sometimes. But
Yeah.
once we get on that road, it's just there's no end in sight. Like that
Right.
road is gonna get traveled.
Like
and we're
once you're going, you're going.
Absolutely. I've always tell them, we're going to get to the finish line together. And you have to adapt. You have to read into everything. You just can't believe something that's told to you. You have to read it, because in the words, it's definitely going to be different. There's going to be there's a, just like the example I gave of being closed on the 17th,
Oh, God.
we closed immediately. We could have stayed up until midnight because
Yeah.
the 18th.
I always I'm surprised you didn't err on that other side.
That
That surprises me of you.
I should have, but
It surprises me a
there was a
little
lot of people out there concerned with the gravity of this pandemic
Yeah.
and the virus, and it was
Were you
unknown.
be honest with me. Were you concerned of the opinion, the perception of you
Every
not
day.
giving a fuck?
Every day, of course, because you don't want to make the wrong move,
Yeah.
especially in a very sensitive time like now, where everybody has an opinion, and some people could influence that opinion on others. Which now that's what's going on in our
And that
nation.
can spread. Yeah.
Our nation's in a mess right now because everybody's passionate about certain things, but they don't get to the core of it. We have elected officials, and instead of rioting, in Portland or seizing cities or burning down police stations, take that money, get a lobbyist, pass a bill, and be passionate about
Get to
that.
the root of the problem.
Get to the root of the problem. Go
Yeah.
to your public officials and hold them to it, and don't let them say, "Oh, I couldn't get the votes." No, you can. You're just outside influenced by monies that don't come, come
People
from
have
another source.
excuses. Rico, do you read?
Yeah, yes.
What are some of the past 3 or 4 books you read, man, that you
Man,
can recommend? As we close this out, we're gonna go with the.
Let me tell you,
with the
I've
list.
always been passionate about Stephen King,
All right.
and at least once a year I read It and I read The Stand. I read both novels.
So cute.
I'm over here thinking he's gonna come with some personal
so
development
cute.
That
shit.
is a double
This guy's
negative.
going for-
My personal development is hands-on. I've been blessed with amazing people. Great people. My
Because
partner,
what you're talking about to me reminds me of How to Win Friends and Influence People, the Dale Carnegie shit.
Nah, man.
Steel Industry.
Nah.
But that's the same. That's the principle. Is it Carnegie, the steel industry motherfucker? He basically said, "I'm gonna surround myself with motherfuckers. I don't know shit about steel. I'm gonna surround myself with motherfuckers that know about steel." But he's the main dude. Though, you know what I mean? So it's about the team.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Where did you get that from then?
Which part?
Just about knowing how to build a team, knowing
Military.
the importance.
My father was a huge influence. My dad. I mentioned this in the last show. He
Yeah, you did.
came from Puerto Rico at a very young age. Cut sugar cane in New York for quarters. Was a dishwasher. Was a short order cook until the owners took. They recognized him and they gave him an opportunity to get his own spot. And then his brother and my uncle, they put their money together and they bought their own little store. And
Damn.
he always built teams. He always believed in people and gave them an opportunity. And he had one saying that I carry to this day was, give people enough rope to hang themselves.
Yeah.
You
I'm all about it.
pretty much, and that's where you realize that you cut ties. And somebody today with that phrase would be like, he's racist. He used that terminology, and somebody be like,
Does it
that's
bug
a
you
good
that people
quote.
don't get it? That
It's annoying. It's very annoying. But you cannot change people's perspectives. You got to allow them to run with that, because sooner or later they're going to realize, this negative attitude or my viewpoint ain't working, and it's either you abide or you adapt. You have to figure out a way to make that work.
It's the pessimistic versus optimistic.
Pretty much glass
Oh,
half full.
Yeah.
As long as there's
Yeah.
vodka in it, I don't care if it's half full. I'm in.
but it's about like knowing to cut ties with certain people.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Some people
anybody-
make excuses with continuing to associate with certain types.
Right.
Oh, he's been my friend for 20 years. Who gives a fuck if they're being toxic or negative? Like,
Right.
you gotta set boundaries and
You don't
cut these
wanna-
people off.
You don't want a negative
I'll
Nancy.
cut my own family off if they're being dumb. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. But it's the same principle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. I think we're good, man. Any last words, Candace?
Candace,
or any
last
other
words.
questions that
No,
you've
no other
forgotten?
questions.
Did you get the big eyelashes on?
Got my big eyelashes on. Jesus, we're gonna go eat Fowl Mouths when it opens.
I
Foul
can't wait.
mouths. Boy, I
We'll
got
be the-
one.
I cannot
Got
wait.
one.
We'll be the
What's
first
the
ones
date
there.
you're looking at opening?
November 1st is
November-
the target date.
November 1st. Okay, dope. Oh,
Yeah. Any final words, Tito? Any plugs? Thank you. Shout outs.
Man, I mean, it's just crazy, but shout out to Jesus having us on again, and glad you could do it here. It's good to
Yeah.
have Rico here, kind of for this episode. It's special, you know what I'm saying? So, let's keep doing it, man. Let's keep
yeah.
grinding and keep working with good people that are in the city, making a difference, man. And shout out to both of you guys keeping this show going, man, and connecting people. You know what I mean? It's all about networking.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Same to you, Rico. Any plugs? Thank you. Shout out.
Oh shit! Big props, man. Thank you, Jesus. I know I bug you every now and then. Like, hey, man, let's just get back on the air. Let's have some fun. So thank you for allowing me again. Big props to my team at Dewey's. We reopened on the 1st, and we're abiding by these mandates. And the goal is for them to make a little money, and they're doing pretty good. And our guests are satisfied. My wing factory, El Paso Wing Factory family, holding down, doing an amazing job, keeping us afloat. My business partners at the new Fowl Mouths, which should be opening November 1st. And my long-term influencers, my friends that have kept me alive with great advice, Keith Mahar, Al Francatucci, Luis Dominguez, Christine Aguilar. There's tons of people that have just been amazing with advice
Instrumental.
and support
Yeah.
and instrumental in the growth in the city. And the list is long. Those are the immediate ones that come to mind. But it's just a good feeling to know that you have people you could count on, great friends, Chris Natividad, Sonny Vidales, and Lance McQueen, Joaquin White. It's like all these
Holy
people.
shit.
This could go on for hours.
I want to
you know?
meet these guys. I haven't met half these people.
We're in the wrong circles.
Yeah, you know
If
Joaquin
you're the
White
smartest
is,
guy you're
as
in
Big
the room, you're in the wrong
Jazz.
room. Big Jazz? Do you know Big Jazz?
Oh yeah, Jazz. Yeah,
He
Jazz.
knows Big
I
Jazz.
know
What's up,
Big
Jazz?
man?
Yeah, you know
But
Jazz.
do I?
Yeah.
Who's Big
yeah.
Jazz?
Jazz always. That's his from back in the Fusion days, man.
Shoot.
Jazz was
Yeah,
always
man.
one of his dudes, always in the mix, man. He's been around.
It's
Everything
funny,
he's
this
done.
guy, he
That's
like
his
recently
best friend.
posted his picture with this.
Oh, my old school, my old school.
That shit was dope,
Oh shit!
dog.
I didn't see that. I gotta
Did you
go
see
back
that
and look
shit?
at that.
Dude, pull that shit up. We'll do it later, but
Yeah. Oh, Jazz. Yeah, Jazz been around for a minute. That's your
Yes,
dude.
yes, absolutely. That's been my main man from day one.
You guys came out to the Karis one together. I think
That's
that was the last
right,
time.
that's right.
Or was it Rakim or Karis?
That
one,
was
huh?
Karis one.
Karis one.
Karis
right, okay.
one.
I'm like, I wish I had internet on this shit so I can pull up that picture. Pull
Dope.
up that picture. Let's show Candace. After we're about to close it up.
Candace, don't make fun of my shirt, all right?
This is Sweet Jesus Radio. Thank you for playing.
Hell yeah.
Sweet Jesus Radio.